Brown cow.
You are in the No Hype Zone. I am Seth.
This is Lance.
And we are here in James Out West's man cave. This is a special occasion here.
Absolutely.
I want to apologize real quick. It's been so long for all of us to be together. Not only the three of us, but the two of us, man. I know I miss you, but life happens. I'm sorry. This is episode 62. The last time we did an episode was in March.
Wow.
Shame.
March, I know.
So much.
It's life, kids. I'm sorry. I got a
It happens.
16-year-old or 16-month-old. I'm sorry. So,
I'm deprived.
Yeah.
Hey, you're in a blink, and
Yes.
she will 16. So
yeah. Sorry. So,
Get the
trying to
time
get back
in.
into it, guys. I miss it as well. So, right on. All right. Well, let's not, dilly-dally any longer. Speaking of dilly-dally, who's my 62? Who's your 62?
I'm going to go with Scott Pollard. I've never been a fan of the Sacramento Kings, but he was the only name I could think of. I thought it was Mark Boyce, but I don't think he wore 62. I think he wore 63. So I was messed up. So I'm going with Scott.
I don't have a 62. Lance tried to give me some guy from like the Detroit Falcons from 1947. Couldn't even tell you.
We don't know anything
Couldn't
about
even tell
that. Yeah, we don't know nothing about that.
mine's Jim Langer, played for the Dolphins, Pro Football Hall of Fame, 2-time Super Bowl champion, and also played every down of the perfect 1972 season, brothers.
That was the best number person athlete read off that we've ever had in the history of the show.
Right?
It didn't come off the dome. It is on
I was going to
NFL.com.
say,
That was beautiful.
unrehearsed, right?
That was beautiful. That was beautiful.
All right, well, let's jump into it here. So we are currently in Game 3 of the Western Conference Finals and Game 2 of the Eastern Conference Finals. As we all watched Game 3 last night of the Suns and the Clippers. Too bad for the Suns. Now, we're local boys here, so we're trying to be as unbiased as we can be. So, tough game to watch a little bit. Just a quick my 2 cents. Booker didn't shoot well. I don't know. Do you guys think like the mask?
I
kinda
think
messed him a little
it
bit?
played a factor.
Yeah, which I think once he gets used to that, he'll be fine. But for some reason, did you guys see the free throw differential in there last night?
Yeah.
Unreal.
I was
Big time.
hoping somebody was going to get fined for calling out the referees for the blatancy of trying to make sure that this thing doesn't end up in a sweep. And they are successful in what they accomplished. Yeah. The Suns did not play good offensive basketball. They didn't move the ball. I saw hardly any rebound. Shot went up. There was nobody in the paint for Orange. And the ball fell for the LA Clippers. Every shot, it seemed like when Pat Bev is hitting back-to-back threes, when Reggie Jackson's hitting back-to-back threes, they're in their pocket. And when that happens, any team is hard to beat. Mm-hmm. Yep. With that being said, the refs stink.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to already go ahead and toss out our hype right now.
Yeah.
I'm in my hype. I believe the NBA, and I know this is all hype, so that means you can't get at me, NBA. But I believe the NBA want to see LA and Atlanta. Those are the bigger markets. They are scared to death to see Phoenix and Milwaukee do this because of the markets. However, the ratings was up. We was talking about this. So people are engaged in the game a little bit more than they were before.
Absolutely.
I guess when we had LeBron always leading the charge or either KD leading the charge. So it's a different ball game, but I think you hit it right on the head. The foul differential, as far as the way they was calling it, was kind of – it was obvious that they was calling it more for the Clippers, but everything fell for the Clippers last night. And Pat Bev, being the world's famous greatest irritant, he did what he does all the time. He always in the superstar's face. And when he fouls people, he's like the Devo of basketball. Nobody wants to see him because when he hurts you, he hurts you. Russell had 6 surgeries after his initial contact with Patrick Beverly. Sudden, I can't even remember the other players, but everybody he's touched up on, they've had that same injury lingering in their career. So he's like the Debo. Nobody wants to see Patrick Beverly.
Now, no conspiracy
But he's the
theorist.
size of mini-me. I mean, he's like Debo light.
Yeah, Debo, 0 calories, Debo.
Now, no conspiracy theorists, because we had that show. God, was that 2 years ago? Remember that show?
Oh, yeah.
Which was a lot of fun. But the ball did bounce the Clippers' way. Now,
Absolutely.
Sometimes that's the way the cookie crumbles. With Chris Paul being back, you think like, oh, hey, they should get their synergy back. I'm going to use that. That's a Lance Johnson term. Mm-hmm. But, hey, it might take a game. I don't expect, the Suns are going to win the next 2 in a row. But I'm going to say 6 games. Chris Paul's back. Get your synergy back. Bring it back home to Phoenix.
Absolutely. I think they win game 4, to be honest. I didn't think it would be a sweep. I thought they'd win this in 5. I think that the Clippers got their game. Listen, right now in the NBA, the Phoenix Suns are America's team.
Yes.
Everybody is behind the Phoenix Suns because you know why? They're fun to watch. They have chips on the shoulder, but nobody's a diva. Devin Booker's a superstar, but nobody knows he's a superstar unless you're a diehard Suns fan, because even casual Suns fans don't know he's a superstar. Or maybe now you do.
Yes.
Now, Chris Paul, obviously they all know. They call him the point god. He's a Hall of Famer. He's a top 5 point guard of all time. Got to get his legs back. But they are the team that America's behind, and that's why the ratings are up, because they're a team you can root for, because they are a team. Yeah. They're playing the best team basketball I've seen in probably 5 years.
Well, the No Hype Zone has been calling it out. Actually, if you look at the historical documents in the episodes, we called out Cam Johnson before he was actually drafted. If you want to look at
literally on draft day,
you did.
On draft day, we called out Cam Johnson, saying he was the best fit for the team. We also called out that Devin Booker, and then we named 3 players: Devin Booker, Kyrie Irving, and Jason Tatum. They all have the Mamba mentality. We've been saying this for the past couple of years. If you want to get something that's brand new, watch the No Hype Zone and James Out West. So, with that being said, everything James just said, exactly. America's team is definitely the Phoenix Suns right now, but I just think everybody's just enjoying looking at Trey Young over there in Atlanta. They're getting a chance to see Greek Freak do what he's doing. And, of course, the Clippers are the America's villains right now, because everybody wants to get on playoff P or pandemic P or whatever you want to call him. I'm not in any position to call Paul George anything, because he's an all-star and I can't even tie up his shoestrings, so I'm not here to make fun of him. But with that being said, yeah, Phoenix Suns is fun to watch. Basketball is fun to watch. I don't think the series is going to go by 5 like James said. I think the series is going to go in 6. If they get to 7, the Clippers can win this thing. I'm scared of Ty Lue in Game 7. As much faith as I have in Monty Williams, putting Ty Lue in Game 7, he will win that game. So I see the Clippers winning. I see the Suns winning Game 4, Clippers winning Game 5 in Phoenix, and then the Suns going back to L.A. winning out there.
So let me ask you a question. With what you just said, did LeBron switch up and play for the Clippers? Because does he play for the Clippers?
No.
Is Kawhi going to be there for Game 7?
No.
Because if not, I don't care how much Ty Lue does to make transitions, which, by the way, head coach of the Cleveland Cavaliers, won a championship. Thank you very much. Thank you, Ty Lue. Thank you, Ty Lue.
You don't want to get that to LeBron, but that's cool.
But playoff P is not LeBron James, and they don't have a Kyrie Irving. So if it's going to come back to Phoenix for a Game 7, there's no way that Chris Paul and Devin Booker let that happen.
Okay, so my argument to that, and this is all hype, again, because we don't have facts, but my hype to that is this. Man, Ty Lue is known for making adjustments. Man has the hot hand. I think that he's restricted Man in Game 1 and 2 to allow him to understand the flow of it, because everybody was taken off guard when he had that great performance in Game 7. So I believe Ty Lue, being the great coach that he is, he's going to take the brakes off of Man and let Man go nuts. Paul George is getting his feel for the game, and then you mentioned Kawhi. You got Reggie Jackson, and he's playing every bit like Mr. October, and it's only June right now. That dude hits big shots left and right. So I understand you don't have Kawhi. You probably won't have Kawhi for the rest of the playoffs, the way he was in the stands yesterday. And I think the Clippers is okay with that. With that being said, I think they have adapted, and they've picked up a new layer of that championship fervor, and they will be scary in Game 7. I wouldn't count them out. The last thing that the Phoenix Suns can do right now is underestimate them without Kawhi Leonard, because everybody else they went up against, they didn't think they can beat the Lakers. They didn't think they can beat Denver. So if they keep that same chip on their shoulder, they can beat the Clippers. But if they think that they're the favorites against the Clippers, they're going to lose against the Clippers, because Ty Lue is that good of a coach, and Ty Lue can take a little bit of dust and make that into a great mountain. So that's my hype on there as far as that
I'm glad that was hype, because I'll give you factual evidence that Monty Williams will not let his team believe.
I just want to say I miss the Lance analogies. Those are fantastic.
They are. They're one of a kind every time.
I love it.
But they're not gonna. He's not gonna let his team fall into that. He's too good of a coach. He's got too good of leadership to tamper everybody's expectations. We're still the underdogs. Yeah. The fact that you who live here are very much on that Clipper hype train, granted it was your hype, but the point being is that everybody underestimates the Suns. Yeah. Jay Crowder didn't have any points in Game 3, but he made the biggest play of the game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, what did DA say? That wasn't my dunk. That was Jay Crowder's pass.
Yeah, Jay Crowder's
you know,
pass.
because he knows that doesn't happen without that. I mean, it was pinpoint accuracy to win a game.
In high school. You know
Hey, he was
a quarterback in high school.
Hey, they win a championship. I'm buying me a Jay Crowder 99.
Yes, sir.
Because that's my dog.
Yes, sir.
He played with the Cavs. That's my dog.
Yes, sir. One quick thing to that, Seth, really quick to what he just said. I'm a huge fan of Monty. I believe Monty is the best coach. Matter of fact,
yes, sir.
When Monty left OKC, that's the reason why the OKC didn't get a chance to return back to the finals. He wasn't a head coach. He was an assistant coach. What he did with New Orleans failed once he had his tragedy with his wife and, I believe his wife passed. All that stuff. So wherever Monty Williams has been, he's been that Goldfinger. He's been able to change the reverse the fortunes of the franchise. However, what I'm saying is Ty Lue is right there with him as far as wits, as far as coaching, and Ty Lue is also able to use the best of what he has and make them better. Chris Paul is known as a conductor. He's the type of dude that can get the best sounds out of all his players. However, when you're a coach that can be a conductor, that's another level. And when you can do that type of stuff, your team is dangerous. You can take a bunch of misfits and make them into what's the thing from Space Jam's? Monstars. You can turn them into monstars really quick with the right coaching because you can conduct the way that they play. So.
And how hard is it to get 15 guys who all have egos, make millions of dollars to get along with each other? Monty Williams has done a great job of making them a good team and gel together. So he's done a great job.
Hey, then this series, Monty Williams going to be stepping over Ty Lue like Iverson stepped over Ty Lue.
Hey, I knew somebody.
And I love Ty Lue, respect Ty Lue, because he told LeBron, shut the F up and sit down.
Yeah.
I'm calling the plays.
Yeah.
In the finals in Game 6.
Yeah.
Like, that's being very confident in who you are and what you've done to tell the best player in the world and potentially, argument for a later day, the best player of all time, to sit down and know his role and shut his mouth.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah.
Now, what else in the NBA? Because we got some other stuff happening.
Right. No,
we could just touch on the teams that was gone, like Phoenix Suns, like, for instance, saying if Ty Lue was the coach of the Philadelphia 76ers, would they have lost?
Nope.
Right, and now I'm definitely taking that from First Take because Max Kellerman was talking about that earlier, and I really thought about that because I've been saying it's not that I can even judge Doc Rivers, but Doc Rivers has a history of losing it after having the lead, and you look at how the Clippers are performing now compared to when Doc had them. So you look at the 76ers, which was the best team in the East, all of a sudden falling to a team like Atlanta because you can't make the right adjustments. That's a problem. And as much as I like Atlanta, I still don't think that they should have beat Philadelphia. It was just all the harder. Trey Young stepped up beyond what you expected him to step up. And that boy, what's the other boy? Collins is a monster. Gallinari is playing like he's a wet behind the ears, like he's a baby all over again. I mean, that team, and that's Nate McMillan, another great coach, calling the shots for Atlanta. So
who is an underrated coach who's been in the league forever, played very elite basketball at the highest level in the NBA with the Supersonics and other teams. Yep. It's incredible what they've been able to do, and I do agree with you. If Ty Lue was in Philly, they would have moved on.
Yeah.
But also, we've all heard about, sports psychology, right?
Yeah.
About the yips.
Yeah.
See it a lot with baseball, right?
100%.
And I feel like Ben Simmons had the yips. Case in point, when he had that wide open dunk and he passed it off. What was that game?
Yeah.
Was that in game 7, like the third, fourth quarter?
Yeah.
Like his confidence is so shot, and that they can't trust him to take a shot in the fourth quarter when the game's on the line.
Let me ask you, can you have the yips if you've never had a shot?
Yes. For him, yes. He's literally afraid to take a shot. Not only because of the yips, but also he does not want to go to the free throw line.
No, I agree.
So they say that what they said was it's a psychological disorder when you're scared to not do anything perfect. And Ben Simmons is one of those people that I'm not diagnosing him. I'm not a psychologist or nothing like that. I can't even give you the psychological term for it. But what I'm trying to tell you is he's one of those guys that's afraid, and I reverse it as being afraid to fail.
Yeah.
So when you're the type of person that's afraid to fail, you don't take risk. And when you don't take risk, you put everything else around you in jeopardy, especially when you're playing team ball, because like Embiid tried to hold it back. And what he say? First thing he said, I think the game turned around when we didn't take the shot that we should have took. He was talking
about that.
Ben Simmons.
Yep.
So That's what it is. So you can't be afraid to fail. And, we've seen this before with Philadelphia with Markelle Fultz. He went through the same thing, and then he ended up becoming the ball player for the Orlando
Is he Orlando?
Magic.
Okay. Yep.
He's in Orlando.
Yep.
Something in the Philly water?
That might be.
Gives you a broke-ass jump shot?
Right.
Yes, sir.
How do you guys feel about Trey Young? I feel like up-and-coming superstar, possibly.
Superstar.
But we don't want to jump to any conclusions. I know this week he's been compared to another player. I don't want to say who it is because we can't put them in the same breath just yet.
I'm not comparing him to anybody.
Right.
Who are they trying to compare him to?
Steph Curry.
No.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying.
I will say this.
Let's not jump to these conclusions with these young guys. Let them develop for a little bit. He's been in the league for literally 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Give him some time. He's fun to watch, but he's making leaps and bounds in his progression. So
you put
awesome.
you put targets on his back. Look at what Booker going through. Every time Pat Bev puts handcuffs on Derek Booker, he said, "You mamba." You mamba, remember? Ever since Stephen A. called him out as mamba, and I love Stephen A., but when he called him out as mamba, and he said, this is the next Kobe Bryant, he put a huge target on Devin Booker. Devin Booker was flowing. All of a sudden, it's like, okay, you want to be the Mamba? And you can see Patrick Beverly every time something, Mamba. He's Mamba. Dev like, okay, keep it up. So that's what's going on in that little, little battle that they got going on. So, yeah, you don't put unnecessary targets on these young boys' back without them being able to prove that they can live up to that, fill those shoes.
Yeah,
now,
he's
I will
20 years old, man. He's a young
say
kid, too.
That Trey in year 2 or year 3, is that what he's in?
Yeah, something like that. He's still young, man.
Is probably better than Steph was at year 2 and probably better than Steph was at 20 years old because didn't he play 3 years at Davidson? So it's not fair.
Right.
It's not fair, but if you're going to compare in the time frame of which their age is, yes, Trey Young is probably a better player.
I'm not touching
at that time. That doesn't. I'm not saying he's not.
I see what you're saying, and
we'll see.
And I agree with you, and that is no hype.
That is no hype. But the thing of the matter is, Steph has how many championships?
Yeah,
Steph just had a great season, and I think sometimes we get caught up in the moment of certain things.
Yes.
If he does this type of stuff, I remember seeing Steph shoot from half court on my OKC Thunder and won the game and pretty much did this shimmy when it was all said and done. We've seen the shimmy before. We've seen this cold-blooded assassin-type personality before another player. I'm just saying Trey I don't want Trey to have to deal with that comparison without him actually being fully developed. It's like trying to brainwash a kid at 14, 15. Their brains ain't developed yet.
Right.
They believe anything. They'll go for whatever. That's why I'm done. I ain't going to go there.
There you go.
No, I'm with you, and that's why in the no hype zone, we talk about the no hype, where everybody else is going to talk about the hype of, hey, Trey Young and Steph Curry, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
Here, we speak reality. We bring it back down to earth. Yes, we can be fanboys at times, which we all are, and we can speak about our hype, but in that topic, Trey Young, give him a couple years, let him breathe a little bit.
Absolutely.
Don't put the target on his back. Just like, I'm going to switch gears real quick for 2 seconds. Justin Fields and the Chicago Bears. Don't put all this hype on this kid. Let him play. Let him breathe. Okay, back to basketball.
No, but
we can get into that.
You just struck it
now, there were some coaching moves in the NBA. A lot has happened because a lot of people got fired.
Yeah.
The most interesting one, in my opinion, is what Dallas did. GM gone, head coach gone, brought in Jason Kidd to be head coach.
A little bit of a rabble rouser.
And brought in a GM who was a Nike executive, Nico Harrison. Biggest thing is
well respected.
Biggest thing is very well respected. Very close to Luka. Got Luka transitioned from Nike to Jordan, which I think is all in the Mark Cuban realm of guess what? We're going to take chances because that's what you do. You just said it, right? Risk takers. They see the glory. Mark Cuban's always been a risk taker. Mark Cuban is going to continue to do that, and he realizes that if he doesn't try to build something around Luka, he can throw the max in him, but Luka's going to want to win. And Porzingis, and I'm the first one to say I believed in the unicorn. But until somebody actually slaps him, until somebody actually slaps him in the mouth and makes him angry, he plays like a 6'3" guy, not a 7'3". He needs to get angry and nasty. And if he doesn't, they're never going to win. And I feel bad because he's an unbelievable talent, but I feel like he's not living up to his potential. And he's letting the Mavericks and especially Luka Doncic down because Luka needs that second superstar to compete in the West.
I think he's pulling a Blake Griffin. I don't think he likes the system in Dallas. He wants to be more of the feature
talking about
player.
Luka?
Luke,
Yeah.
no, I'm talking about Porzingis.
Okay.
Porzingis, I believe that he's playing a Blake Griffin like Blake Griffin did in Detroit.
Then send him to Detroit.
Right, Detroit. That's exactly where he needs to go, or Indiana, or he needs to go to OKC. One of those places where he can be the man on the team, and you don't have any expectations for the team. When Blake got to Detroit, Blake played that old falling down the stairs routine, and it looked like he was just washed up, hot garbage. He goes to Brooklyn, and he turns right back into all-star Blake that's jumping over cars and all types of stuff all over again. So I think Porzingis is playing this role because he thought that he was Game of Thrones. You know I love that show. Game of Thrones had a little skit when they was talking about Dirk Nowitzki passing the mantle down to the next Dirk Nowitzki, and it was supposed to go to Porzingis, and then all of a sudden the Mavericks ended up drafting Luka, and Luka is like the new Nowitzki. I know that's all hype, crap, stuff like that, but I'm just saying, like Seth would say, minutia. This is the minutia of what's going on in Dallas. So,
and not only that, but Luka wasn't listening to Carlisle at all, I guess, at the end of the season there. He's kind of doing his own thing. So.
No, it's kind of what Rodgers did with McCarthy. Like, I tuned you out, bro. You're not. I already know we're not going to win with you. Not that you haven't been able to win, but with this current group and you, it's just not going to work. So I'm going to do my thing. We're going to have the same chance of winning, per se, because you need to get your boy in check.
Yeah.
Right.
Like Jill Scott would say, if you can tell me what to do, then you can tell me what to do. If you can't tell me what to do.
You say Jill Scott?
Jill Scott.
Love Jill Scott.
Jill Scott, Erykah Badu, all
Nice.
that. You know, I like that.
Yeah.
But if you can't tell me what to do, you can't tell me what to do. And that phrase is so simple. When them players look at those coaches' eyes and they see that you ain't got that chip in your eye, like you really trying to do something, and you can talk them to another level, you lose respect.
Rick has been on cruise control for probably 3 years.
Yeah.
Or more. I mean, of course, I don't know. I'm only watch the Dallas Mavericks every once in a while, but it does seem like he was just coaching to coach. Like, I don't know that he had the passion to coach anymore there. Now he's going back to Indiana, a team that really could use a quality veteran head coach. But, man, what pieces around there are they going to work with to be able to build something? Like, he's going back there because they can trust him. And he's a good coach. He's a very good coach.
Peace of mind.
All right. I know in our 5-second pregame show we were talking about Portland's hire. Portland's possible hire.
Look, they thought Jason Kidd. Well, we all know Dame Lillard, Dame, whatever you call him.
Dame
He wanted Jay Kidd.
By the way.
He wanted Jay Kidd, and they were like, "We're not even going to interview him." But we know that Becky Hammond was in that final. I do believe Becky Hammond will be the next head coach of the Portland Trailblazers for a few things. No pun intended, but they are Trailblazers. Mm-hmm. Why not hire the first woman head coach who's qualified?
Right.
Who has respect in the basketball community. Yep. Portland's a very progressive town. Look at the last year and a half. Right. Nike, the owner of the team, Nike, they're very progressive and take chances. Right. Why not take a chance on something that everybody can agree upon, that she should get a chance to be a head coach in the NBA because she's done the time and knows the knowledge and the ability and respect to build a winner. In my opinion, that's the next head coach.
I think you hit it right on the head as far as them being Trailblazers, but also the main piece that she has on her is that she was up under Popovich.
Yeah, absolutely.
And anytime you can have a Popovich protege, then that means you got a little structure, you got a little organization, you got discipline, and you got what it takes to win the championship. Spurs, the Lakers dominated the first part of the 2000s, but the Spurs was right there. The Spurs was right
Absolutely.
at the end of the 90s, going into the 2000s, and that system all lies between the ears of Popovich. So, you got a person who got that type of wisdom. Of course, why wouldn't you want him to take you to the next level?
It just makes sense, especially with where we're at in a world.
Yeah, change.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right.
It almost makes too much sense.
Yeah.
But she'll get the command and respect that she deserves because she knows what she's doing. And I don't think she takes any grief from anybody.
Yeah. And I can tell you the next one will probably be Diana Taurasi if she ever decided that she wanted to coach, or Sue Bird. Those two are legends.
Not that we are a big WNBA conglomerate, but
huge with the WNBA. I love the WNBA.
Hey, she's the GOAT.
Well, yeah. And I'm going to tell you.
Diana or Sue?
Diana
Taurasi.
Okay.
Taurasi, she's a Mount Rushmore.
She passed up Lisa Leslie 8 seasons ago.
She's a Mount Rushmore. She's
still playing for Phoenix? Diana?
The GOAT is Cynthia Cooper. You want to know the GOAT? The GOAT is Cynthia Cooper. I love the WNBA. Cynthia Cooper was the first Mike Jordan, Dr. J, Magic Johnson, all that at once when she played with the Comets. She had Tina Thompson on that team. I'm Diana Taurasi. Anybody who knows me, I always say I want to see Diana Taurasi play because she's a legend and she's Mount Rushmore. She's like
Three-time champion,
all
three-time
players, not just
MVP,
female players.
eight-time All
Male,
WNBA.
what she did at Connecticut was outstanding. But I can't say she's the GOAT because, again, we getting caught up in recency bias and opposed to looking at the whole body of work of what Cynthia Cooper did with them Comets. All them championships she won. I know the Mercury won some championships, but them championships that the Comets won back in the day with no punk.
Look at that WNBA getting some love in here. That's great.
I love the WNBA.
What about Shemia Holtzclaw? Did she retire to work on some other stuff?
Well,
or who am I thinking of?
Well, you know, if we want to get on something that's relevant right now, WNBA, you know, I like the Dallas Star. Is it Dallas Star? And that's the hockey team. The Dallas team, the Wings, I believe that's their name. And Anike Bulike, I can't pronounce her last name. Excuse me for mispronouncing the name. But she is like my Kobe. She is awesome. But my favorite player is Breanna Stewart. Breanna Stewart for the Sonics. That's Kobe Bryant right now as a female. That girl puts on a show. Her footwork is impeccable. Her movement, her IQ is off the game, off the chain. So if you want to watch a good NBA game, I'm trying to get tickets when they come see the Mercury to see the
all right.
And there's your 5 minutes of WNBA talk. We got more?
30 seconds,
we got more?
please.
Okay.
Just because of what he said.
Go ahead.
I just want to go over what Diana Taurasi has done. So not just we'll get to the WNBA.
Okay.
So let's go. 6-time EuroLeague champion, 7-time Russian National League champion, WNBA's all-time scoring leader, 4-time U.S. basketball female athlete of the year, 5-time scoring champion, rookie of the year, 10-time all WNBA first team, 9-time All-Star, MVP, 3 championships, the GOAT. AP Player of the Year, 2-time Namesmith player, 3 college championships. She's undenied.
Okay.
Diana?
Woo! Got excited about WNBA. That's Diana Taurasi.
Okay. She had that
All
he had that Ric Flair.
Wow.
I'm going to say she GOAT B, okay? That would be the same thing.
Sure.
GOAT A is Cynthia Cooper, GOAT B is Diana Taurasi.
And she was the number 1 pick, so she lived up to the hype in the hype
I
zone.
love Diana Taurasi. If you happen to be watching this Diana Taurasi, I'm like one of your biggest fans.
Free
I'm just
tickets.
saying, yes.
Give us tickets.
I'll be screaming at the game like I'm talking to Russell.
I've been to some WNBA games. No joke.
You're talking to
no
who?
joke.
Like I'm talking, my man, Westbrook. That's right. Had a great season. I'm proud of you, boy. Keep it up. Back to my dude.
All right, bringing us back down. So who do we have in the championship then for the NBA? Who we got? Well, no hype, because I know we all live in Phoenix here, so we got to no hype this.
Suns Bucks.
Okay.
Hype. Suns Atlanta.
Okay.
No hype. Clippers, Bucks.
Okay, see,
No hype, Clippers,
okay.
Bucks. And
I like
if you're watching this, I know I'm a hater. I don't want to hate.
That's not a hater.
I
That's
love
not
the
hating.
Suns. It's just that I'm
objective.
Hype, Suns, Atlanta, but no hype, Clippers, Bucks.
I'm glad you feel that way.
I don't feel that way. I'm saying no hype. I'm just trying to make it intelligent. I don't feel that way. I feel like the Suns are winning. I just don't want to jinx them by saying the Suns, and I'm saying that no hype. I don't want to jinx them by saying you're going to get in there, and then next thing you know, we're looking at the Clippers.
I'm going to agree with you, but I think that my hype's going to be Suns in Atlanta.
Okay. I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I hope 100% I'm wrong. I'm rooting for the Suns. I'm not on the bandwagon. I'm not a Suns fan like that. I'm in the area, and I like what I see. I'm a Chris Paul dude. I love a Devin Booker, but my basketball mind saying Clippers.
There you go. All right, so what else we got going on in the world of sports here?
I mean, hockey's going, right?
Yeah. Well, we got a Game 7 tonight in hockey with Tampa and the Islanders. Congratulations to the Montreal Canadiens for making it to the Stanley Cup final.
Unbelievable game yesterday,
final
by
singular,
the way.
not finals, final, which is good. Fun facts, they are 23-time world or Stanley Cup holders, and they have not been to the Stanley Cup since 1993.
23 times?
They're the Yankees. Of hockey.
But they haven't been there in a long time,
since 93. All their championships came in like 1930, 1940, like stuff like that. So it's been a little
Took a long time for the Americans to figure out how to play hockey at the Canadian level. I don't know that they've still figured that out, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
And I want to say just real quick, R.I.P. to René Robert. He was part of the French connection for the Buffalo Sabres. I'm a Sabres guy. This is back in the 70s. My mom sent me a message yesterday saying, hey, my guy from the French connection died. So R.I.P., my friend. R.I.P.
My condolences.
Right on. But yeah, Game 7 tonight, Tampa and Islanders. Go Tampa. I want to say go Tampa for one reason only. Because I want to see, for the first time ever, a city win. So Tampa won the hockey Stanley Cup and the football championship. I would love to see that happen again, back to back.
Ooh, that'd be
unprecedented. That'd be really,
That's
really
probably
cool.
Never.
So it's never been done before. Never been done before.
Boston didn't do that. Really?
No, no. Like two teams, same season, same city, or back to back years.
No Bruins and Patriots. No. Huh?
Nope. Wow. So I'm actually
no Chicago Bulls and Blackhawks.
So for my hype, I am subliminally rooting for Tampa Bay Buccaneers this year, just because only if Tampa wins the Stanley Cup final. Then I'm rooting for Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I mean, let's be honest. They got better. They're going to be more cohesive.
Yeah, and they signed all their starters back.
And like Clyde Christensen, the quarterback coach for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, said, we all wish we had 8 more games out of the Super Bowl because we were just getting started. Mm-hmm. They were just getting in their groove. That's dangerous for this upcoming season because Tom's been leading, all the practices outside of that. Bruce has his practices. Then they come together like Transformers. It's unbelievable. They're going to run the NFC again, of course, with the disclaimer, in case of injury. Other than that, they're going to run the NFC back.
I don't see why not.
Unbelievable.
They have the formula for success. They figured it out after their bye week. Yep.
What has Tampa Bay ever done to deserve?
Like you said, injury.
Hey, man, it's lightning in a bottle. Sorry to cut you off.
Absolutely.
I mean, in this day and age, it's hard to, I think the Patriots are the last greatest dynasty we're ever going to see. So if you can catch that lightning in a bottle, I'll hype. I think that if you can catch your lightning in a bottle, you never know, man.
You never know. It's very accurate.
I mean, just like in the NBA, right? You catch these super teams. Brooklyn Nets came out of nowhere, came out of left field, right? Clippers kind of did that 2 years ago, right? They should have been good last year. Right?
The Suns pick up Chris Paul, everything changes. So
right,
yeah, I get it.
So it takes a player or two, and then you can catch lightning in a bottle, and boom, and then you ride that. You know?
Tampa Bay is a strong team. However, I don't see them repeating because I believe that boy over in Kansas City has got something that is going to have, something to say about that. And
if he makes it to the Super Bowl.
He's still the baddest player in football.
He is.
He's the baddest player in football.
And, you got to have an offensive line.
Right. You got to have an offensive line.
They do.
Right.
They revamped.
No hype.
Yep.
They're going to win 13, 14, 15 games.
No hype.
And that division? Yeah.
No hype.
Yeah.
But the team I root for is also going to win 13 or 14 games. So we'll see you in the AFC Championship, baby.
Man. Hey,
for another day.
Take the Browns hat off.
I don't have a Browns hat on, do I?
No, you got Cleveland
Indians?
Yeah.
All right, there we go. And that's baseball.
You perpetually wear that hat, though.
Yeah, no. Always. Always.
I mean, you look at some of the teams in NFL right now, you look at the Browns as being they should be a Final Four team. They should
Absolutely.
be there.
Absolutely.
Sure.
They should have been there for the past couple of years, but this year, definitely because they was able to play without Odell last year, and then all of a sudden now you got Odell coming back, and he's got to be humble because this team can make it without you. So you thought that you was the reason why they would be to the Super Bowl, make it to the Super Bowl, and now
he still can be
a good team without you. So
he still can be the reason because, like you said, they learned how to win without him.
Yeah.
I think Baker learned how to not have to force it to him.
Yeah.
And he has said on numerous occasions, listen, I pay attention to all the local media in Cleveland, obviously. And he's been nothing but a great teammate, a consummate pro, wanting others to do well, has come out and said on numerous occasions, but they're not going to put that on SportsCenter because Max Kellerman can't argue about it when he says, I don't care if I catch 0 balls and we win. I don't care if I have 4 catches, 30 yards. Did we win? Did I block downfield to help spring Nick Chubb for a touchdown to win the game? That's what I care about is winning. I truly do believe he lives for that brotherhood of wanting to win.
I agree.
He's got all the money. Oh, which, by the way, I don't know if y'all know this.
Did he just sign that extension?
No. But let me give you a little something on OBJ been hanging out in Phoenix. Okay.
You've been hanging out with him? Or
No, gosh, I wish.
Hey,
about 3 weeks ago, he was at Bartlett Lake, hanging out in the water, doing his thing. Do you remember how he got fined for that watch that he was wearing on game day, his first game?
Yes.
He lost it in Bartlett Lake.
So
he hired divers to go find it, could not find it. Yes.
Oh, my
And I got that on good authority from people at the marina at Bartlett Lake. This isn't one of those, hey, he was here. No, that happened, and he hired divers, did not find it.
What could you be doing to lose that watch?
He's probably wakeboarding. With that knee, just testing it out. Just testing. Now, that's not, that I do not know.
Yeah.
He might have just been in the water hanging out and it slipped off. It is like a rubber $15 wallet. It's $1 million because some eclectic Italian's got his name on it.
That's crazy.
Hey, what do you guys say we take an excursion to Bartlett Lake and comb the...
Yeah, absolutely. If I could dive, I don't know if I want to dive in that water, bro.
Siri, where's Bartlett Lake?
It's about an hour away from here.
Yeah.
It's up north by Cave Creek.
Yeah. All right. So as we digress here a little bit, so baseball, we haven't had a chance to talk, much baseball. We are 3 months into the season. He's shown the sweep sign there because he's a Dodgers, Padres, Cubs.
I'm a Dodgers fan.
He's a fan of like half the league. So
no, not in baseball. I'm a Dodgers fan. Basketball, I'm everybody's fan.
Which is funny because last night the Cubs had a no-hitter against the Dodgers. He's a Cubs fan and a Dodgers fan, but yet he's upset. Yeah. How'd you be upset, man?
Because
like your Cubs.
I think I explained the history of the Cubs.
Dodgers.
My father used to get mad at the Cubs when he came back from the post office, and I used to watch the Cubs in the afternoon early, hoping that the Cubs would win, so that my father wouldn't be upset. My grandfather was a Dodgers fan, so we watched the Dodgers with no emotion involved. I love them, Steve Sachs, Fernando Valenzuela, all them cats. They was my boys. Make a long story short, I'm a die-hard Dodgers fan, and it hurts to see them get spanked by the Padres. The Padres, though, I would watch the Padres even if they're not playing the Dodgers because they're exciting to watch.
They're must-watch TV if you are going to watch baseball.
Tatis is lovely. I love watching the ball.
Yeah, I was watching a game. I was watching the Dodgers like 2 or 3 nights ago, and Tatis had a steal, and it was like the most exciting play. Yeah. He stole, like, no one steals second base anymore, right? In this, hit the ball out of the park league. They're leading the league with 73 stolen bases, which is like unheard of.
Monster.
Which is great.
Monster.
So good for them. Just a quick recap here. Your Indians are just 2 back.
Yes, sir.
With
no pitching and no hitting, I have no idea how they're doing it.
Bieber's doing well, but I haven't heard much about him in the last couple of weeks. I don't know if he's injured or what.
Strained shoulder.
Dennis, call us. We need to get an update, Dennis, please.
Hey, strained shoulder.
Okay.
They were just taking precaution, but we have injuries all across the board with pitching. We got guys injuring themselves, ripping their jersey off in celebration, who then comes back and gets injured again in the game.
Yeah.
We have guys that get injured. We are down so many, but yet 2 back just goes back to, if you have good management, good structure, you ride the tide. Yep. You've been through it a million times. You bring in some young blood, see what you can do, and and
it's a long season. So,
and if you're the Diamondbacks, it's the longest season.
Right,
might be the worst team in recent memory of baseball. Yeah.
And speaking of long season, I keep trying to tell Lance because every time the Dodgers score goes up, they lost. Lance, they're 14 games in. Calm down.
I'm a true Dodger fan knows that they suck. Okay, I'm just going to tell you.
They won the World Series last year, man.
Care. That's last year. We ain't looking like we're going to win it this year, and I'm telling you, it's scary. I watched the Padres before I watched the Dodgers.
Dodgers and Lakers fans are the same people.
But the Padres and Dodgers are tied in second place right now.
The Giants would be right. The Giants are scratching our butt right now, so, I mean, you can't – except the Diamondbacks, everybody can – the West is open.
The D-backs are 28 games back. I'm sorry, so there's really
lost
not much
23
to,
on the road.
They still in spring training, so excuse me.
But more surprising than that is, you guys know this one, Houston Astros have won 11 in a row.
They've been hotter than
11 in a row.
Oh, my goodness. Altuve been leading the charge. You think they're hitting the cans?
Well, not that we know of. We don't hear any trash can banging right now, but my boy Michael Brantley, who's on my fantasy team, has been blowing up the last couple of weeks too, which is great, even though I'm losing really, really bad in fantasy, but whatever. Also, Jacob DeGrom, could you say hashtag DeGoat? That dude.
Not yet, but he there.
Ready for this stat?
You're in your hype.
So he's pitching. No. Ready? He just lowered his ERA to 0.5.
Yeah.
He is batting. His batting average is better than his opponent's batting average. Wow. So he's batting 113. People who hit off of him are batting 112. Ridiculous. He's got the greatest 9-game stretch or 9-game start ever. Mm-hmm. Better than Pedro's first 9 games. Better than Tom Seaver had some ridiculous season back in the 60s or something like that. But he is at a clip right now that is going to be almost unprecedented. This is unreal what he's doing right now.
So what he's doing right now in this little time frame makes him the good of this little time frame. It's like the greatest stretch that you've ever seen here, but let's just wait.
But he's been doing this for how long?
He's very good.
A fantastic
he's
pitcher for how long?
very good.
Yes.
But there are 50 all-time great pitchers that you could go, well, they could be the GOAT.
Yeah.
Okay. Agreed with that.
Seaver,
but
Ryan,
right.
All of them cats.
Actually, I'm going to say no to Nolan Ryan.
Why?
Trivia. How many Cy Youngs does Nolan Ryan have?
That's based on writers. I don't care about that number.
How many Cy Youngs does he have?
I don't know. But
Zero.
I know when I watched him in the 80s.
Let me ask you, if you had to put one pitcher out there to start a game, who you putting out there? I'm probably putting out Nolan Ryan.
Number 34.
Nope.
Yes,
nope.
Sir.
I'm going to put Randy Johnson out there.
Well, I would accept that.
6'10" lefty?
I would accept that. I would also accept Tom Glavine. I would accept Pedro. I would accept Bob Feller. I would accept Roger Clemens.
What about Maddox?
Any of those are Maddox. I'd accept that. Yeah. And I would accept
Maddox.
But and obviously Sandy Koufax, you go. But those are the ones that you would accept, like hands down, yeah, sure. That would be it. Nolan Ryan's in that conversation.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Yeah.
Especially because of the intimidation factor. Especially because of the intimidation factor.
Was Satchel Paige? He was the GOAT too. So
yes.
I'm just
Cleveland connection. Satchel
yes, sir,
Paige.
Satchel Paige. Yep. If I got to get into the hype of baseball, which being a casual fan, this carries a lot of weight. Baseball is so fun to watch between the Padres, Atlanta Braves, Acuna is so fun to watch.
Yes.
If you've been listening to the show a couple of years ago, we was talking about Guerrero. I'm crazy about Guerrero in Toronto. I think he's doing some things. I've been raised to not like anything California Angels or Los Angeles. That's how deep it goes back. It's actually Los Angeles Angels. But what's my man, Osaka or Taku?
Shohei. Ohtani.
Yeah. Ohtani is must-see TV. He's like in many he's putting up 8 to 10 strikeouts, or he's hitting the ball out the field. I mean, it's beautiful.
All hype. He could be, if his career lasts a long time, he could be the greatest player ever.
Absolutely.
Think about that.
And this season,
and hitting,
he could be the AL MVP and also the AL Cy Young.
Easy. I see that.
I mean, he honestly could be. I'm not saying he's going to be, but he could be. There was like a 10-day stretch where it showed where it was home run, struck out 8, gave up 1, home run, 2 home runs, struck out 10. Right. What are we talking about?
Yeah.
And he's supposedly
he's
24.
Yeah, he's young. He's a young kid.
And he's a big dude.
Yeah.
He's tall and big.
Yeah. So we
good for them. They're still never going to win a World Series, but good for him.
So we talk about that. And then what does baseball do, like we talked about earlier? Plexico burst their whole season. They decide to take the gun and put it right at the hip and go to the club and bow! And all of a sudden, now you got games that was already long, going long. It's like a strip club. That's what it looks like. The umpires come out there and play Luther Campbell's song, Don't Stop, Get It. And all the pitchers, they got to literally strip at the mound because of this stupid stuff. What Girardi did the other day was
Bush League.
He messed up his legacy with that to me. That was stupid what he pulled. And if you're going to keep doing this throughout the season, nobody's going to sit up there and
do we agree?
Like
so 2 things. 1, no starting pitcher or any pitcher is dumb enough to put anything on their bodies because everybody's getting called out for any reason. So no one's doing it now.
Right.
The spider tack, that's the big thing, should not be allowed. You can stick it on your finger and watch it hold a ball this far off your finger. That shouldn't be allowed. But
you literally need WD-40 to get it off your hands.
But rosin, sunscreen, sweat, get a little tacky, things like that. That's been happening since sunscreen was probably invented.
Yeah.
Okay? Why are we changing? Everybody believes in baseball's pastime, and it's a pastime, and it's the old written rules. Well, the old unwritten rules include rosin and sunscreen all the way back to the 20s or teens. Okay? Now, spider tack is a different situation. Outlaw that, but let them have that because they also throw 100 miles an hour. You want them to have the ability to know where it's going, or someone's going to get killed, or maimed, or a very scary situation with concussions. And then it's going to be like, well, guess what? Now that you outlawed, I'm suing the Major League Baseball because you guys outlawed them from them being able to have control. I don't want them to have spin rate control because they're striking out more now than ever. Quote unquote.
Though. That's
but give me the ability for them to be able to have some traction, for God's sakes.
So, from an inside source, a lady that trains at our studio, her husband plays for a Major League Baseball team.
Fantastic.
So, I don't want to say who it is.
Sure, good job.
This is my inside source.
Really had kids get this investigative information. I'm
Good. Okay, player X.
And she was, player X. So, she was like, hey, watch for guys to get injured now because now they're going to try to maintain that spin rate, and they can't because now they're going to throw their elbows.
So look for elbows, shoulders.
Yes.
Really?
Look for that for the next 3, 4, 5 months. And I have a proposal.
I hope that wasn't what happened to Shane Bieber.
Right? So
I doubt it.
Right. Agreed.
He plays the rosin, but it did happen. Shoulder strain could have happened anyways.
So I got a proposal. We should treat this like they treat replays in football. So you can go, hey, I want to check this pitcher. Okay, if you check him once, then that's all you get. You can't check him 4, 5, 8 times in a game.
Sure.
If a different pitcher comes in, sure, okay, but you can't check like Max Scherzer. They checked him 3 times.
Well, if you check him, then it should be a penalty. It should be a penalty. You should.
Yeah, if he's got nothing, it should be.
Then you guys, you put a run on base, or you do something
to make it. Hey, that
Something
would
like
make
that.
it more. Make it more that
There you
it would
go.
also make it more. You better be damn sure that he has something
sure.
because everybody hates the guy on second already, the ghost rider or ghost runner on second. You do that because I basically lost a challenge. I may not. I know he has nothing on him. I'm just trying to get in his head. I'm trying to slow down the momentum because he's about to strike our guy out, and this is the bottom of the 7th. It's going to cut that crap out, which absolutely needs to happen because Manfred doesn't care. Manfred already said it's a piece.
It went great.
He said said that the championship trophy is a piece of metal. That's what the commissioner of baseball thinks about the championship trophy, the pinnacle, the thing that everybody wants to win and house in their stadium for the rest of their lives and go back and go, I was a part of that team. He called a piece of metal.
Because he's a businessman. He doesn't act like he possesses the passion of the game.
Hey, this is no hype. He's the worst commissioner of any league in the last 25 years.
Hey, I heard that before.
Even worse than the
NHL's,
NHL.
100%, because he has a golden goose and he's pissing it down his leg.
Right.
Sorry for the language, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, I'm really quick just because I know we don't normally talk about baseball, and I know Patrick is probably salivating if he's listening to this show right now. We're talking about so much baseball. But going back to the end of the 90s, I love baseball. I couldn't wait on ESPN to put the long ball shot when they did Sosa and McGuire, and then Bonds. But then they go out there and then they criminalize their own players. They get leak information. They talk about so and so doing this. Now all of a sudden, the love that you're building up for the game is gone. Again, it takes a long time for you to get that love again. I'm getting back into that love. Now all of a sudden, they pulling this same stunt again. How many times they're gonna, hype up their players, and then next thing you know, they're doing everything to show that they just criminals. For what?
Because they placate to old whites. Because old whites are paying the advertising bills. Old whites are making decisions that pays everybody's paychecks. So at the end of the day, they're going, we got to go back to the way it was. And, hey, we don't stand for that. When, guess what? Y'all didn't know they were doing that and stood for it the last 50 years.
That's no hype. They were doing it, and nobody called them out on it. Exactly. Good call.
Well, gentlemen, you guys are looking at me like, what's next? Well,
I think that's
it. That is it. We covered, a lot, even there's a couple
we went around the world of sports.
Olympics are starting in a month.
Something like that.
Which is good. Excited for that.
Yeah. Some interesting stories coming out of there already.
They're saying that the NBA, the basketball teams won't. They don't think they'll win, but we say that for another show. They're saying that this basketball team is not geared up.
Have you seen the players that are on this team?
Yeah, they put Kevin Love on the team.
No, hold on, let me go back. They put a Wilkins on this team. Oh no, Grant. They put a Grant. They put Horace Grant.
Jamari Grant.
Is Horace his son or is he Harvey's son?
I believe he's
Harvey's son. Either way, Harvey played in the NBA as well.
Right.
His
when
was the last time he wasn't the 8th, 9th, or 10th player on any bad team?
But he's the man in Detroit. That's why they put him there. He's emerged like what he did last year with Denver. He was one of the most sought after free agents. So when he got to Detroit,
so was Tobias Harris.
Yeah, but I'm just saying he went to Detroit, and Detroit has some games this year where he looks like he's one of the baddest players, like Reggie Jackson.
Someone's got to score.
Yeah, Reggie Jackson was the man in Detroit. You put him on a good team, he showed you get the chance to see him. But unless you're a Detroit Piston fan, you don't see his greatness every night. So Grant, he's a good call. The one that's the problem is Kevin Love. Kevin Love has been injured.
I'm pretty sure he invited himself too. He's like, I accept. I'm going to be there in Tokyo. He's doing this to go to Tokyo. He just wants to go to Japan.
Man,
free Kevin Love.
So that's it. But we can say that Olympic talk for another show. But it's a whole lot going on. We got the finals that's going to come through. Hopefully we can get another show in during that. Hopefully we'll be looking at the Suns in Atlanta. Hype-wise, that's who I would love to see there. So I'm going to pull one of my father's moves. When he wanted the Cubs to win the World Series, he wore White Sox stuff all year long. Watched the White Sox play because he wanted to put that jinx on them.
And look how well that works.
I love fandom. I love fandom.
No. The Cubs won in 2016. The White Sox won in 2004.
Hey, goals. They wanted to see him win before he passed. And that's exactly what happened. The very next year, he passed because there was nothing else for him to live for. The Cubs won.
He saw it. He had Michael Jordan's heyday. He had it.
Yeah, he had it.
Right on. All All right, love it. All right, gentlemen, pleasure being here. Appreciate the hospitality and Jams Out West.
Absolutely.
Again, great setup. Even though you guys can't see everything here, but maybe one day we'll do a pan shot of everything. Pretty awesome.
Yes, sir.
Right on.
Otherwise, we will see you guys
Good stuff.
next time.
Yeah, enjoy that game, man. No hype.